Thank you, everybody. We're going to begin, and thank you for joining us for the second regular monthly meeting of the Mayor and Council being held in Borough Hall Monday, May 22nd, 2023, starting at 6:30. Missy, may you please read the roll?
Mayor Nunziato,
Here.
Councilman Coakley,
Present.
Councilwoman McGowan,
Present.
Councilwoman Big Roberson,
Present.
Councilman Guzman, Councilwoman Delray Cohn,
Here.
Councilwoman Quattrone.
Thank you. If you're willing and able, could you please stand for the salute to the flag?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Missy, could you please read the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act?
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law, Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, notice of this meeting was transmitted to the Record and Herald News and filed with the Borough Clerk on December 21st, 2022, and is posted on the bulletin board outside of Borough Hall.
Thank you. We have some presentations this evening. Councilwoman Roberson.
I think No, it doesn't matter. Why don't you all go down anyway?
Could the council please join us in front of the dais?
So if you notice, we're all wearing orange today, and it's not Halloween, and it's not October, but June is coming up, and it's National Gun Safety Awareness Month, and orange is the color of safety. So on June 2nd, we're encouraging people around the borough to wear orange in honor of Gun Safety Awareness Month. So we're going to be passing that resolution today in honor of Gun Safety Awareness Month. So that's why we're all wearing orange. Now, we are here today to honor some incredible students who have done some beautiful work at our library. And these are the winners of the library design contest, okay? So we're going to call you up, and when you come up, you can come up with your family, and then we'll take a picture, okay? So, in third place, Sophia Tran. Yeah. Congratulations, Sophia. Okay, in second place, we have Dia Nandiala. Congratulations. And in first place, we have Mila Tragonis.
My goddaughter. Can I take a picture with you, please? Thank you, sorry. The whole, if they can, please. Really sorry. If you can, please, sorry.
Good idea. Smart. Yes.
Congratulations.
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 We're just going to stay down here.
Since we're here, we
You want to announce it first?
Sure, yeah. This is such a fun meeting because we're just going to keep celebrating folks, which is not always what we get to do with these meetings. So now if a representative or multiple representatives of the Green Team want to join me up here, we're going to award a proclamation to Fiorentini Restaurant. Is there anyone from Fiorentini here? That's okay. We're going to read it. Yeah, when I saw Tony earlier, he was literally on a ladder outside the restaurant. So I will read it, and then we can present it to them at another time. So whereas Fiorentini, let's let her, I like your blazer. Yeah, nice. Okay. Whereas Fiorentini Restaurant has pledged a dedication to environmentally friendly business practices, and whereas Fiorentini Restaurant has worked closely with the Rutherford Green Team Committee to meet the requirements of their Green Leaf certification program, and whereas Fiorentini Restaurant has shown a commitment to providing environmentally preferable products and services, as well as energy efficiency and waste reduction, and whereas Fiorentini Restaurant's dedication to the environment benefits the Rutherford community as a whole by making it a cleaner and healthier place to live. And whereas Fiorentini Restaurant's commitment to sustainability shows how small changes to everyday practices can make a big difference with measurable results. And whereas Fiorentini Restaurant's participation in the Rutherford Green Team Committee's Green Leaf certification program is a strong example of environmentally sound leadership within the Rutherford community. This is you. Oops, this is you. Now there. You need glasses.
Now therefore, I, Frank Nunziato, Mayor of the Borough of Rutherford, hereby present this proclamation to Fiorentini Restaurant for their dedication, devotion to the environment, and sustainable business practices within the Borough of Rutherford. So on behalf of us and Dan with the Chamber of Commerce, which I assume that you'll make sure this gets there, Green Team would like to hold this up, and we'll take a picture. Kim? Okay. We'll get everybody in. It's like the Ginsu knife set, but there's more. Have 'em?
I have the certificates.
Green Team, come on.
Thank you. And it's the same resolution? Yeah. Okay. Proclamation. Just kidding. Hi, I'm back. Okay. So we have the same proclamations for other businesses in Rutherford. Dan Meredith Agency. We hereby recognize Dan Meredith Agency for their commitment to sustainable business practices, including providing environmentally preferable products and services, locally sourced sustainable food, sharing their environmental successes with employees, customers, and other business owners, and greatly reducing food and product waste. Congratulations.
And we go again.
Let's see, I don't see Rutherford Cough. I see Renee, so that's the one I'm pulling out. I see her wrangling a little person, okay. The Rutherford Greenleaf Program is the borough's way of recognizing, supporting, and promoting businesses that make a commitment to sustainability. In that way, we hereby recognize Erie Coffee Shop and Bakery for their commitment to sustainable business practices, including providing environmentally preferable products and services, locally sourced sustainable food, sharing their environmental successes with employees, customers, and other business owners, and greatly reducing food and product waste. Congratulations to Renee and her whole team. Let's go. Fiorentini, so I'm going to give this to Dan. And then there's one more. I don't know if we have anyone from Rutherford. Yes, so are we doing others? Would you just do it now? Okay. All right, I'll just read it. The Rutherford Greenleaf Program is the borough's way of recognizing, supporting, and promoting businesses that make a commitment to sustainability. We hereby recognize, for the same reasons stated for the other businesses, the Rutherford Coffee Company. Congratulations to Ashley and her whole team. We'll make sure that Ashley gets a copy of this as well. Many proclamations. Okay, do you have something? Okay. Thank you, Green Team.
Should we do it first?
She'll do it from the dais, whatever.
You want to wait till she's up with her turns up before we get to her? You. Okay. Marie, you want to just do it now? Yeah. Kim? Microphone? Councilwoman Robertson?
Can you hear me now? Okay. So earlier I was explaining why the entire council is wearing orange in honor of National Gun Violence Awareness Month. And Mayor Nunziato has joined other mayors around the country, ensuring that their towns are gun-safe towns. And I would be remiss to also thank our police department for the hard work they do to ensure that our citizens are safe. So I will read this proclamation in some brevity. Whereas as on May 1st, 2023, more than 13,900 people have been killed by gun violence in the United States this year, which is an average of roughly 115 deaths each day. Whereas shootings have continuously made headlines in just the first few months of the year. Whereas out of 13,995 people that died from gun violence this year, 471 were teens and 85 were children. Whereas as of May 1st, there have been 184 mass shootings in the United States so far this year, which has led to 248 deaths and 744 people left injured. Whereas gun homicides and assaults are concentrated in cities with more than half of all firearm gun-related deaths in the nation occurring in 127 cities. Whereas cities across the nation, including Rutherford, are working to end the senseless violence with evidence-based options. Whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. Whereas mayors and law enforcement officers know their communities best, are the most familiar with local criminal activity, how to address it, and are best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe. Whereas the idea was inspired by a young lady called Hadia Pendleton, who was tragically shot and killed at the age of 15. Whereas by wearing orange on June 2nd, 2023, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. Now, therefore, Mayor Frank Nunziato of the Borough of Rutherford hereby proclaims Friday, June 2nd, 2023 to be National Gun Violence Awareness Days. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Missy?
Review of changes to the proposed agenda on page 2. Under Council President, we'll be adding item E to authorize the raising of the American flag on June 14th, which is National Flag Day, hosted by the Elks Club of Rutherford on the front lawn of Borough Hall. Also on page 2, under complete consent, we'll be revising resolution number 121 to add a raffle license for the RPA. On page 5, under community events, we'll be adding authorization to execute the agreement with Simon Grisconis as a farmers market liaison. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anybody else from the council have anything they want to add? Seeing none, ask for a motion.
Motion to accept the changes?
Motion by Council President, may I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Robertson. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Begg Robertson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Delbert Cohen?
Yes.
Thank you. Now we're going to open it up for the hearing of citizens. This meeting will now be open to the public. If you'd like to speak, please come forward, state your name, address. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. Also, if you choose not to feel that you would like to say your address, you can fill out the record book, which is down on the table right here. Anybody from the public wishing to speak?
Good evening, Adam Zora, 94 Vreeland Avenue. New Jersey sanctioned creation of independent and autonomous local shade tree commissions in the late 1800s. Tonight's intention to add Jonathan Anderson as the Shade Tree Commission's 6th DPW member is a clear violation of state and local regulations. The borough only allows one of the 7 residents eligible to sit on that committee to be from the Shade Trees Division. Now, today's commission is now dominated by both resident and non-resident DPW employees who are answerable to the commission's de facto chairman, who is the DPW Superintendent Chris Seidler. Most of them don't even have a single shade tree on their properties. Now, this lack of autonomy has actually led to their latest push, to codify owners' rights to clear-cut every private property tree in this borough of trees. Now, rather than packing the commission any further, the council should really look into disbanding it for its failure to live up to its obligations that are stated in its mission. And it's all been documented in Chapter 95, I believe it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zura. Anyone else from the public wishing to speak?
Hello, my name is David Labernov, address 423 Stuyvesant Avenue. I wanted to comment tonight on the introduction, this first introduction of the tax abatement for the Williams Center. You know, I was at the clerk today to try and find the attachments to this, which were not available for inspection, which says right here they would be. So, you know, I come back each time and ask about transparency and that you'll show the information and provide it. And it's difficult for the public to look over the information when it's not available. So, you know, maybe you could improve that. Second thing that I want to say was, I'm not sure about the process that was followed with this. As I understand the law, state statute with respect to tax abatements, there's supposed to be an application. That application's decided within 90 days, and then it has a vote up or down. I don't think we've ever received that. We have an old application, but that was never augmented. The state law also requires that the application include a construction schedule, also include a financial plan, the financing plan, the entities that are going to supply that financing. So, I mean, we're not even aware here, the public, whether there's financing in place for the plan, which seems like, according to state law, again, that's a prerequisite to actually entertaining the application. Otherwise, it's not, you know, you haven't met the requirements. So I'm wondering about that also. Maybe someone could explain. It's unfortunate that there's no one here tonight to, you know, go through some of this information that has been presented to the public. But those are a few things with respect to this, to the, you know, the requirements for state law as far as the application goes. I certainly can send you a letter about the various other informations that seem to be scant in here and missing information about how some of these things would work. The only financial information we have is a plan back from October. That's the only thing that's available. And as I understand it, there's been negotiations going on. I would expect, well, first follow state law, have a vote up or down, and then have a reintroduction of the plan. Secondly, whatever the result would be from that negotiation, I would expect to be able to see it. And if that negotiation actually led to changes, I would expect there to be some financial plan that we could inspect that would have those changes and not be looking at the same plan from back in October. Excuse me. Also, I guess it was spoken during the redevelopment plan, and actually, if you look at that redevelopment plan, it has none of this information that I'm actually talking about here as far as construction schedule. Says we're going to rip down some buildings, we're going to build some buildings. And so the reason that's important is because you have this financial agreement that doesn't have protections for the public as far as the schedule. You know, we don't receive any taxes or any payment in lieu of taxes until there's a substantial completion of the project, which defines in here that they have a final CO. So, I mean, the staging of the plan and what will be opened and all that stuff is, you know, sort of critically important to the financial document that would be presented to the public. I could continue on with a bunch of other things. You know, the idea was that the public would be taken care of. We talk about the affordable housing component in this financial plan. It complains that.
You're at your 5 minutes, sir.
Okay.
I'll let you finish quickly if
Sure.
there's something.
So this financial plan says that, you know, he won't be able to collect rents from these affordable units, and he'll have a degraded rent. I would just point out that, you know, the plan talks about the number of affordable units, and 3 of them being 3 bedrooms. And so I'm wondering about the impact on the local school system of, I would imagine that 3 units with 3 bedrooms, they give them to people with children. I would imagine maybe 6 children. That's actually wipes out all the financial benefit from this plan to the community, because that burden goes on the school system
right,
and has to be picked up. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll send a letter, or maybe I'll be able to talk later.
Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'm going to close it to the public and now open it up for any council comment. Anybody from the council? Councilman Copeland.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Zura, with regards to the Shade Tree Commission, we did discuss internally the rationale for adding Mr. Anderson, whom comes from the New York City Park System with a wealth of experience and will be a great addition to it. The actual language in the ordinance says, one of whom may also be a member of the Borough of Rutherford's Department of Public Works. And we had determined that that is open to interpretation and could allow for more than one. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. But we've decided to move forward with adding someone of great experience and also Rutherford residents. Mr. LeBruno, fair and valid points on multiple levels. I share your sentiment in terms of availability and transparency. However, I just would like to question that some of these issues that you bring up with regularity are speculative in their nature, right? The what ifs, right? The 3-bedroom rentals and the 6 children. There is no family currently in any of the 2-bedroom condos or available for rent in the Parker and the Parker 2 and things of that nature. So we can keep having this discussion over and over and over again about the what ifs. But the nature of the economic situation that our young families go through is they come into town, they live here, they commute into the city and various other places, they get a feel for it, and then they determine that they're going to buy a home within this town. I myself, my wife and I did the same thing. We had a 1-bedroom studio. My son was born. We lived there for 2 years, outgrew it, moved into a home, right? That's exactly the dynamic in this day and age. So I understand the fear and the what if situation. It gets everybody. But again, there's no real proof to any of those situations currently within our ecosystem, so to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the council? Councilman Del Rey Cohn.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. LeBruno, I just wanted to speak to a couple of things that you mentioned. I think that transparency is very important, and I am excited about the fact that on the second read for the public hearing, we will have our professionals here to field questions. I think you're familiar with the process, that the public hearing is when we want to make sure we have folks readily available. That's not to say you shouldn't have asked questions today, but I think the public expects that the public hearing happens on the second read, and those questions will be asked and considered, at least I can assure you, by me. With regards to your concerns about affordable housing, I'm a bit of an affordable housing maven. I think affordable housing in communities like ours are critically important. I also think that, yes, that sometimes could, although I agree with Councilman Coakley, it's speculative, that could result in us having families in these affordable housing units for which the community may be picking up some slack with regards to taxes for education. I think we could debate whether or not that's quote unquote worth it. But unless and until it happens, I think we have to move forward. What I'm excited about our professionals coming to explain, which was explained to us as a council, lest you think that we do these things without any education. What has been explained to us is that other than the tax benefits of the pilot, the Williams Center in particular is actually a project that from a legal and procedural and practical level meets the qualifications of a pilot, unlike many projects may, right? Like it's for the public good. It's providing the affordable housing units that are required. And I think, and I hope that you come to our next meeting and talk with our professionals to get those answers to your questions, because I think that we all agree on the dais that the Williams Center in particular is a hot button. There are a lot of opinions about it all over the map. And the community, if they have opinions and concerns, should certainly engage with those that are best educated to enlighten them with information.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anybody else? Seeing none, we'll move on. Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to approve the regular meeting minutes of May 2nd, 2023. Councilwoman Beg Roberson was absent. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Delray Cone. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson,
Abstain?
Councilwoman Delray Cone.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to move resolution number 119 in support of S3739/A5402, delaying the implementation of the fourth round of affordable housing obligations. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilwoman Roberson. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson,
Yes?
Councilwoman Delray Cone.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to move resolution number 123, the award of plenary retail consumption licenses with conditions. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilman Coakley. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson,
Yes?
Councilwoman Delray Cone.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to authorize Neglia Engineering to design and engineer for the 2023 roads program. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilwoman Roberson. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson,
Yes?
Councilwoman Delray Cone.
Yes.
I was trying to drink my water. My apologies. Next, I'd like to ask for authorization for the raising of the American flag on June 14th, which is National Flag Day, hosted by the Rutherford Elks Lodge, number 547, on the front lawn of Borough Hall at 6 p.m. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilwoman Roberson. Any questions or comments?
Mayor, may I? This is, for those who may not know, this started during COVID, when we needed to spread out more. This has been a tradition of the Rutherford Elks, usually done on Ames Avenue in front of the lodge. And so it was, wonderful that although we did it really because of an external situation, that it had so much appeal to members of the community beyond our scouts and the members of the lodge that participated, that they've asked to continue this now as a tradition. And every year, the number of people who attend has continued to grow. So I want to thank you, Mayor. I want to thank my council colleagues for supporting this amazing organization, the Elks of Rutherford, and keeping a beautiful tradition alive about the history of our American flag.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anybody else? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Oh, I'm sorry. Missy?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Consent agenda.
Sorry about the microphones. I know there's some feedback going on. Thank you all. Tonight, we're going to move the consent agenda. All items are authorized to be consent by the council and will be enacted by one motion. These items are routine in nature. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Delroy Cohen. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen?
Yes.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to committee reports. Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to accept the resignation of Tax Assessor Michelle Hennessy effective June 15, 2023. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilwoman Roberson. Any questions or comments by the council? Council President?
Mayor, I just would like to thank Michelle for her service to the borough, and we wish her well in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen?
Yes.
Next, I'd like to move resolution number 126, authorizing the Borough of Rutherford tax collector to prepare and mail estimated tax bills in accordance with PL 1994 C-72. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilwoman Roberson. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to move resolution number 129, appointing municipal tax assessor Matthew S. Rinaldi. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Delroy Cohen. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen?
Yes.
Mayor, under my liaison assignments, I would like to yet again remind the borough that this is National EMS Week. May 21st to the 27th, 2023 is the 49th annual National EMS Week. In 1974, President Gerald Ford authorized EMS Week to celebrate EMS practitioners and the important work they do in our nation's communities. This year's theme is EMS, where emergency care begins. I would like to yet again remind our borough, I know that you, Mayor, and certainly our council colleagues are well aware, we are ridiculously fortunate with what we have here in the borough with our Rutherford Ambulance Squad and the incredible work they do. We are one of very few towns nationally that everyone who is a part of our ambulance corps is an EMT. How fortunate for the residents of this borough to be cared for, and how fortunate for our friends and neighboring communities that receive the benefit because of them. So this week, I ask you to think of each of them. If you see someone, say thank you, and be mindful of how lucky we are that when we call for help, somebody responds. And I extend our greatest appreciation, not just to our EMS, but also to our police. And thank you, Chief, on behalf of the entire department. and of course, our amazing firefighters. Last but not least, I encourage any resident to reach out to the KIP Center, our amazing 55 KIP Center, and reach out to Kathy Babiello, who is the director. They are looking for volunteers to serve lunch. What an amazing place that helps folks come together and have stewardship and kindness. And so if you haven't done it before, it's an amazing opportunity for you and some family members to do together and feel good. Thank you, Mayor. That is all I have this evening.
Thank you, Council President. Councilman Guzman's not here tonight. Police?
Oh, it's me. Thank you, Mayor. Is anybody else going to get to talk tonight? I'm not sure. My apologies. On behalf of my esteemed council colleague Guzman, to whom we send our deepest condolences to him and his family. Resolution number 128, awarding a contract for the acquisition of a 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe for the police department. Motion.
I have a motion by the Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Coakley. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilwoman Del Ricon?
Yes.
Mayor, I'll reserve any liaison assignments and updates for Councilman Guzman when he returns. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Works, Councilwoman Del Rey-Cohn.
Thank you, Mayor. The Green Team has informed me that this is National Public Works Week, so I just wanted to give a grateful shout out to our Department of Public Works, Chris Seidler and the entire team over there. I will go pay them a visit this week to give them the pleasure of my in-person congratulations. But please, if you do see your DPW workers, just remember that this is a special week for them and their service to us and our community. I don't know how many residents are aware, but with regards to the Green Team, the Department of Public Works really does provide a great deal of service to them as well. They just help them gussy up and really do a lot of work over at the community garden. They provide all sorts of services to the Green Team as well, which benefits us all. So I don't want to lose sight of the fact that their reach goes far beyond just what they do for the community as residents. They also are very good team members with our other committees. So that's with regards to Public Works. For the Civil Rights Commission, I do have a resolution, Mayor, and then just a couple of announcements. So I'd like to move resolution number 122, which is with regards to fundraising and event pricing for the Rutherford Civil Rights Commission. Particularly, they're looking to raise funds to support the Multicultural Festival and other programs for the community. Motion.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Del Rey-Cohn. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by the Council President. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilwoman Del Ricon?
Yes. And then also with regards to the Civil Rights Commission, I just wanted to announce, and I believe it was posted today on the borough's Facebook page, that the Civil Rights Commission is holding an opportunity for a scholarship to be granted to a high school senior who wishes to study human rights or civil rights after graduating in the fall of 2023 or spring of 2024. For more details, you can obtain a copy of the application by writing to Civil Rights Commission at rutherfordboroughNJ.com, and applications must be received by May 29th, and that's a $500 scholarship. So if anyone is interested in applying, you're welcome to reach out to me or directly to the Civil Rights Commission for that. And I think also our public information officer did post the link, like I said, for the application on the borough Facebook page. That's all I've got, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Coakley.
Thank you, sir. With regret, I move to accept the resignation of John Clare from Engine Company Number 4. Motion?
Motion by Councilman Coakley. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council President. Any questions or comments? Sir.
Quickly, sir, I just want to thank Mr. Clare for his service to the borough and wish him best of luck in the next chapter of his life.
Thank you. Anybody else from the council wishing to speak? Motion?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. Missy, could I have the roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Actually, I'm sorry, before you go on, I just wanted everybody to be aware that John Clare was also involved in the landing on the Hudson. That day, he was one of the ferry captains that was there and helped rescue a lot of people. So I'd like to thank John for that as well. Sorry, Missy, roll call.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen?
Yes.
Thank you. On a positive note, I would like to make a motion to accept the membership of Augustin Del Val to Engine Company Number 3.
Motion by Councilman Coakley. May I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilwoman Delray Cohen. Any questions or comments by the council? Sir?
Is Mr. DeVal in the, no? I thought maybe we had someone here today. Mr. DeVal, thank you for your service, and we look forward to seeing you about town in the red. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen?
Yes.
Thank you all. In closing, would like to move forward on resolution number 127, authorizing fire engine refurbishment change order number 6. Motion?
Motion by Councilman Coakley. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council President. Any questions or comments by the council?
Just a brief comment and a thank you to our Borough Administrator, Bob Kekulewski, and our Borough CFO for always keeping our men and women up to date with their equipment and finding the best, most efficient, financially responsible ways to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Missy?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen?
Yes.
And finally, just in closing, thank you one and all who contributed to the Children's Youth Art Month project. The banners are now down and have been replaced through via our veterans banners. If you have one or a child who created one this year, they are available to pick up where, Bob? Your office? Do we not know yet? Or? Okay, we're going to have the basket sent to Borough Hall. Please pick them up as soon as you can. Several of them have lasted several years on some of our doorstops the last few years, so we're going to hold them to maybe 2 or 3 weeks this year, and then they're going to have to find another home. So please come pick them up at Borough Hall. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Buildings and Grounds, Councilwoman Quattrone is not here.
Okay, so I am accepting the resignation of Garrett Pepe as plumbing inspector effective May 19th, 2023. Motion.
Motion by Councilman Roberson,
Second?
second by Councilman Quattrone. I'm sorry, by Councilman Delray Cohen. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman?
That's it for buildings, grounds, and public utilities. Thank you, Mayor.
No, you get to keep going now, your recreation.
Okay, so I'm going to start by authorizing the Women's Club annual Pumpkin People in the Park at Lincoln Park, October 14th to October 27, 2023. Motion.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Roberson. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council President. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so community events, I am authorizing the execution of the agreement with Simon Grisconis as the Farmers Market Liaison. Motion.
Second?
I have a motion by Councilman Roberson. May I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilman Delray Cohen. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen?
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else?
Yes, Mayor. I am very, very excited to announce an initiative that falls under the Recreation Department. And if you bear with me, I'm going to read about it in detail because I want to make sure I get it right, okay, for the record. So this initiative is supporting, empowering, and encouraging moms coaching, and that is SEE. Isn't that lovely? SEE, Supporting, Empowering, and Encouraging Moms Coaching. So in the 2022 to 2023 Rutherford Recreation Series, 1/4 of all soccer coaches were female, and less than 1/10, that's 80 out of 90 of that's 8 out of 90, 8 out of 90 of basketball coaches were female. And we are, of course, grateful for all our volunteers, but studies show that girls who see women in coaching roles are not only more likely to envision coaching as a career path for themselves, but they are more likely to stay engaged in their chosen sport as they grow older. Now, it's no secret that sports help empower young women to be better leaders. And the more we can do to encourage girls to stay engaged in sports, the more they feel empowered to be leaders in their endeavors. Empowerment snowballs. So, our Public Information Officer, Kim Bogosian, and I have been collaborating for some time on how to encourage more moms to take on these volunteer roles with the Rutherford Recreation Department and how to identify the specific roadblocks that stop them. So Kim has done a lot of hard work. She's done the heavy lifting. She reached out and surveyed some veteran mom coaches in the community and asked them whether they would act as resources for other women to get involved. And as a result, I am so excited to announce that we already have a team of 6 experienced moms willing to make themselves available as mentors to those who are considering coaching but weren't sure of what they might be getting themselves into. So with this initiative, we will develop over time as we assess what is really needed. So I have asked Kim to develop a community outreach program along with our incredible mentor moms to let new potential coaches know that there is support and resources available to them to answer their questions and deal with any apprehension they may have. And this is not an issue that is unique to Rutherford, but I am so proud that Rutherford is leading the way, as we always do, in finding solutions to ways to support volunteers. So if you would like more information, either as a mentor or a potential volunteer, please reach out to Kim Bogosian, and she will be happy to include you because mom coaches rock. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Councilwoman.
That is it for me.
Thank you. Under my assignments, I have nothing under my liaison assignment. I do have some appointments. First, Gloria Sangako, permanent status traffic guard, effective May 23rd, 2023, in accordance with the rules and regulations of the New Jersey Civil Service Commission. I'd ask for council consent.
Motion?
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Roberson. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deloitte Cohen?
Yes.
Thank you. Next up, I have Robert Eubanks, provisional appointment, plumbing inspector, effective May 24th, 2023, in accordance with the rules and regulations of the New Jersey Civil Service Commission. I'd ask for council consent.
Motion?
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilman Coakley. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deloitte Cohen?
Yes.
Next up, I have the recreation summer staff with the attached list. I'd ask for council consent.
Motion?
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Coakley. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deloitte Cohen?
Yes.
And finally, as per Councilman Coakley's previous conversation, I'd ask for council consent for Jonathan Anderson to the Shade Tree Commission.
Motion?
Motion by Councilman Coakley. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council President. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Beg Roberson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Del Rey Coon.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll move on to ordinances on first read. I'm sorry. As this is the second meeting, I will now reopen it to the public to speak. Please keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. If you choose not or do not wish to have your name or address said, you may sign into the book. Please step up to the microphone, keep your comments to 5 minutes or less, and keep it to subject matter of this agenda only. See.
Adam Zura again, 94 Freeland Avenue. Section G in tonight's urban renewal recital states it all. It states that the project would not be constructed without the tax exemption authorized by the ordinance. We all know painfully well that the underutilization of the Williams Center for the Performing Arts was inextricably linked to mismanagement. Now, repeating that mistake by selling the multi-million-dollar property for $1 to an unqualified friends and family member that's unable to secure funding after nearly 2 years and millions more in concessions tossed into the pot does not reflect favorably on this council. Neither does doubling down in the belief that additional millions in property tax giveaways will chase the crickets away. It's time for a reality check, an end to the litany of hypotheticals, and a repurchase of the property for the same $1 that it was sold at a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, which would be used then to find a qualified arts center-focused rehabilitator. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Zora. Anybody
Oh,
else?
By the way, Councilman Coakley, plain language in the ordinance, it says that only one may be, of the members of the Shade Tree Commission, can be from the DPW's Shade Tree staff. That's not something that's subject to any kind of misinterpretation. The other fact is that only residents are allowed, and we now have at least one member that is not a resident of the borough. In fact, not even a resident of the county. I'm saying only, but if you read it, it says one
Matt,
of seven.
just wait till-
The operative word is
All
may.
right, thank you, Mrs. Zora. You know how we
May
do
is
it.
operative.
Anybody else from the public wishing to speak?
David Labruno, 423 Stuyvesant. I just want to say no one would disagree about there being a need for affordable housing. I know we have a plan that we're trying to meet. The question, though, is the state provides a 4-to-1 ratio that, sort of helps the developer make it happen. I understand the Williams Center provides a public benefit. It's just, it would help to be able to quantify that besides what we've gotten in the past when we've done these tax abatements was, I think it's good. This is the way things get done. I would like some substantive kind of information. And sure, transparency is important. I would hope that the information would be available prior to the Friday at, 11 a.m. when we're notified this is going to happen, and then the information becomes available to the public Friday. Most people work. Then it's Monday, then you have the meeting, then the meeting occurs, then we're voting on second to pass something. I guess, the answers that you've looked into and the answers that the public might present are easily addressed. So I would hope then that we'd get more than, as I said before, and what we've gotten in the past when we've had our financial advisor and planner provide information about this is the way things get done. And I'm sorry, that just doesn't sit right with me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? I'm going to close it to the public and now open up for any council comment. Councilman Coakley.
Thank you, sir. Just to clarify, Mr. Zura, you did say you inserted the word only. So just to put that on record, that the language as we read it, and as it is, one of which may be allowed, right? So it is open to interpretation. You just now inserted the word only, which is not what we're discussing here. Just wanted to clarify that. Thank you again. Love to see you at the next meeting, as always. Appreciate your time and your attention and your passion for it.
Thank you, Councilman. Anybody else from the Councilwoman Del Rey-Cohen?
The beauty of being an attorney, but not being an attorney for the borough, is that I can ask our attorney to explain to Mr. Zurr what he explained to me about that language. And Mr. Ferraro, I don't know if you're willing to just speak to where that language of may on the Shade Tree Commission, but my understanding based on discussions is that one non-resident may be a DPW worker, and there can be additional DPW workers provided they are residents. Am I understanding that correctly? So that is the explanation. We are allowed one non-resident DPW worker, and the other DPW workers are, if they are residents, are allowed to sit on the Shade Tree Commission.
Mr. Zurr, you know, this isn't a back and forth.
I don't know that anyone else is confused, Mr. Zurr. Mr. Lubruno, I am certainly not of the mind that we should do things as we have always done. I can't speak to the protocol of the agenda being released at 11 a.m. on a Friday with the meetings on the Mondays. That is how it's always been done. If you're proposing a change to that, I would love to see what you have in mind as a better protocol. I'm happy to talk to you about that. Right now, that's the way things are done. But I again urge you that the second read meeting, and we have, is it 3 weeks, Bob, until our next meeting? We have 3 weeks until our next meeting. That should give you ample time to present to me or anyone else your questions. I am excited to be able to affirm that our professionals that are engaged with the borough are very capable. And I love being able to say I know what I don't know and being educated by them. And that is why we've had discussions about making sure that anyone who can answer substantive questions about that project be here at the second read. They are far better equipped. I don't think this is an issue of anyone sort of skirting the ability to provide information, although I'm disappointed that you feel that you don't have what you need today, because certainly by the next meeting, you should be able to have that and be able to speak to it at the next meeting. So I encourage you to do that. I appreciate your clarity about the affordable housing issue. I wasn't implying that you're not supportive of affordable housing, but I think that we all just need to take a long look at what our questions are and then present them to the right people. And quite frankly, at this point, those right people to your specific questions may be the professionals who we're going to make available to you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anybody else? Okay. Seeing none, now we're going to move along to ordinances. Council President?
Thank you. On behalf of Councilman Guzman, reading on first, an ordinance on first reading this evening is about amending the designation of no parking restrictions in certain areas. Missy, can you please read the ordinance by title only?
In order to amend and revise Chapter 126, Vehicles and Traffic of the Borough Code of the Borough of Rutherford.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to move that the ordinance be passed on first reading and advertised according to law.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Roberson. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Del Rey-Cohen?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to move again on an ordinance on first reading, which would be approving the application of an execution of financial agreement with Native Development Urban Renewal, LLC, in connection with the redevelopment of 15 Sylvan Street and 5 Edric Terrace. Missy, can you please read the ordinance by title only?
An ordinance of the Borough of Rutherford, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, approving the application of an execution of financial agreement with Native Development Urban Renewal LLC in connection with the redevelopment of 15 Sylvan Street and 5 Ettrick Terrace.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to move that the ordinance be passed on first reading and advertised according to law.
I have a motion by the council president. May I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilman Roberson. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley,
Yes.
Councilman McGowan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Beg Roberson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen.
Yes.
Thank you. Next on first reading is the alcoholic beverages in the theater district regulations. Missy, can you please read the ordinance by title only?
An ordinance to amend and revise Chapter 7 entitled Alcoholic Beverages of the Borough Code of the Borough of Rutherford.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to move that the ordinance be passed on first reading and advertised according to law.
I have a motion by the council president. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Coakley. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Coakley,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Beg Roberson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance is on second read. Council President?
Thank you, Mayor. This ordinance on second reading is regarding the increased road program escrow amounts. Missy, can you please read the ordinance by title only?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 76 of the Borough Code entitled Police Department.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to move that the ordinance be passed on second reading and advertised according to law.
I have a motion by the council president. May I have a second?
Second?
Second by Councilman Roberson. I'll now open it up to the public on this subject and this subject matter only. If somebody chooses to come to the microphone and would like to speak, or sign your name in the registry and keep your comments to 5 minutes or less, and state your name and address. Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'm going to close it to the public, and I'll ask for any council questions or comments. Seeing none, I'd ask for a roll call.
Councilman Coakley,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Beg Roberson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen.
Yes.
I'll now accept a motion to go into closed section as we moved it to the end, since no action will be taken tonight on
Motion.
motion by Council President. Have a second.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Delray Cohen. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, we just have a roll call.
Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act requires that a public body adopt a resolution at an open meeting before going into a closed session to discuss a matter which excludes the public as permitted under Section 7B. Now therefore be resolved that the mayor and council will hold closed meeting at 7:38 PM on May 22nd, 2023 in Borough Hall to discuss the following matters: contract negotiations, redevelopment Agnew Place, shared service agreement, East Rutherford and Carlstead, shared service agreement for Carlstead.
Thank you, sorry. Now, may I have a motion now?
You have it. Councilman Coakley,
Yes.
Councilman McGowan,
Yes.
Councilman Beg Roberson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Delroy Cohen.
Yes.
Thank you. Blue room, please. Session at 8:04. Missy, may I have a roll call?
Mayor Nunziato,
Here.
Councilman Coakley,
Here.
Councilman McGowan,
Present.
Councilman Big Roberson,
Here.
Councilman Del Ricon.
Here.
Council President?
Mayor, I wanted to state for the record this evening that with a very excited heart, I believe that tonight may be the last mayor and council meeting. We're 80% certain that tonight will be the last mayor and council meeting held in these chambers at 176 Park, and that we will be moving to the chambers in the new police headquarter building, hopefully for the June 12 meeting. And I just wanted to take this moment. There are many pictures of those who came before us on these walls. These are the photos of the mayors. There's no representation of the council members, but if you think about it, there were 6 for every one of those pictures over many, many years. People have come to this room and have been so appreciative of its history and its beauty. And I know, I think I speak for all of us, that we have been privileged. Even when the technology doesn't work, it's too hot, it's too cold, the lights go on and off, whatever has happened over the, I don't know, I'm on 9 years, you've been here certainly longer, Mayor. We've all had amazing experiences, and so to this room, I thank it for providing the opportunity for us to do good government for a borough that we love and that we care for. So we'll just say we'll see it later.
Thank you, Council President. Bob looks like he's going to cry, otherwise I would just adjourn us. I'll now accept the motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Council President, all in favor?
Aye.
Have a great last night in this room, people.